The rain hammered the courthouse steps like a verdict already rendered, each drop a gavel strike against Alex Harper's frayed nerves. He clutched his briefcase, soaked through, staring at the man in handcuffs being shoved into the patrol car, the stranger whose fate he'd just gambled his entire legal career on. In that split second, as their eyes locked through the downpour, Alex felt it. Not just pity, but a pull, like the universe had scripted this collision to unravel every thread of his carefully guarded life. Alex had spotted him in the holding cell that morning, a ghost of a man with hollow cheeks and eyes that burned like embers in ash. Elias Crow, 42, charged with fraud and assault in a case that screamed setup from the headlines. The public defender had bailed, citing conflicts of interest, leaving Elias to face a jury of strangers who saw queer drifter scrawled across his file like a scarlet letter. Alex, third year at NYU Law, gay and out since 16, couldn't walk away. Not when the whispers in the hallway echoed the ones he'd heard growing up in suburban Ohio. Faggots gonna fry. He volunteered on the spot, pro bono, his professor's warning be damned. Your Honor, Alex had begun, voice steady despite the tremor in his hands. This isn't about the man before you. It's about a system that chews up the vulnerable and spits out convictions. The courtroom, a cavern of polished wood and judgmental stares, had hushed. Elias sat rigid, his graying temples catching the fluorescent light, fingers twisting a silver ring on his thumb, a habit Alex noted, filed away like evidence. The prosecution painted Elias as a con artist preying on elderly widows in Brooklyn's gentrifying blocks, but Alex tore it apart. Doctored ledgers, coerced witnesses, a landlord's grudge over Elias's refusal to tone it down at the local pride rally. By closing arguments, the jury foreman was shifting uncomfortably, and when the not guilty verdict echoed, Alex exhaled for the first time in hours. Outside, the storm broke harder, reporters swarming like vultures. Mr. Harper, why risk your reputation for a nobody? One shouted. Alex ignored them, pushing through to where Elias stood, uncuffed now, rain sluicing down his leather jacket. You saved me, Elias said, voice rough as gravel, extending a hand that Alex shook, firm, calloused, alive with unspoken stories. Up close, Elias smelled of rain and old books, his gaze lingering a beat too long, stirring something in Alex he hadn't felt since his last disastrous date. Curiosity laced with caution. They ducked into a diner across the street, the kind with cracked vinyl booths and coffee that could strip paint. Elias ordered black, no sugar. Alex, chamomile to steady his pulse. Why me? Elias asked, not ungrateful, but probing, like he saw through Alex's polished facade to the scared kid beneath. Alex shrugged, tracing the rim of his mug. Because no one else would. And because I've been that stranger. Kicked out at 18, scraping by in hostels, dodging slurs on every corner. Elias nodded, slow, his eyes tracing Alex's face. Not predatory, but appraising, as if measuring a kindred fracture. That night, back in his cramped Brooklyn walk-up, Alex replayed the day on loop, the adrenaline crash leaving him hollow. His phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. Coffee tomorrow? Owe you more than words. Alex hesitated, thumb hovering. Flings were easy. Connections like this felt like minefields. But he typed back, deal. 8 a.m., same diner. As he drifted off, the rain lulled him into dreams of locked doors and whispered secrets, Elias's ring glinting like a key he didn't know he needed. By dawn, the city hummed with its indifferent rhythm, yellow cabs slicing through puddles like accusations. Alex arrived early, nursing a latte, his mind already dissecting the case's loose ends, the anonymous tip that had flagged Elias's crimes to the DA. Paranoia, maybe, but law school had taught him coincidences were rarely clean. Elias slid into the booth 10 minutes late, apologetic, a faint bruise blooming on his jaw that hadn't been there yesterday. Old friend with a grudge, he muttered when Alex raised an eyebrow. Happens when you stick your neck out. They talked, halting at first, then spilling like the coffee Elias sloshed. Elias was a freelance archivist, piecing together forgotten queer histories for museums that paid in exposure, not dollars. I document the ghosts, he said, the loves that history tried to erase. Alex leaned in, Hooked despite himself, Elias spoke of Stonewall survivors he'd interviewed, of love letters burned in panic during the AIDS crisis. It mirrored Alex's own thesis on LGBTQ+ rights in probate law, the irony not lost, fighting for legacies while his own family had disowned him years ago. His parents, conservative pillars in Dayton, had frozen him out after the coming-out letter, his inheritance reduced to a curt, good luck card. No calls, no holidays, just silence that echoed louder than any shout. "They think love like ours is a phase," Alex confessed, voice low. Elias's hand brushed his across the table, not quite holding, but close enough to spark. "Or a sin," Elias replied, withdrawing slowly. "Mine called it both. Left me with nothing but questions." The conversation veered personal too fast. Elias's ex, a poet who'd OD'd in the 90s. Alex's college boyfriend, who bailed when the bar exam loomed. Laughter crept in, tentative, then real. Elias mimicking a stuffy curator, Alex countering with a professor's nasal drawl. By 10, they were walking the High Line. Autumn leaves crunching underfoot, the Hudson glittering like fool's gold. "Your trouble," Alex said, half joking, as Elias pointed out a plaque commemorating a forgotten drag queen. "The good kind," Elias shot back, their shoulders bumping, a test neither pulled away from. That brush ignited something reckless. Over the next week, texts evolved to calls to late-night walks. Elias showed Alex hidden speakeasies turned queer bars, walls etched with graffiti from lovers long gone. Alex shared case files from his clinic, Elias's insights sharpening his arguments like whetstone on steel. But shadows lurked. A hang-up call at 2 a.m., a tale Alex swore he saw in his rearview on the subway. Paranoid, Elias teased one night, over takeout in Alex's apartment, fairy lights casting warm halos. Alex shook his head. Trained. The law eats its own when you defend the wrong people. Elias's laugh was bitter. Like me? The queer who wouldn't pay protection to the slumlord's goons. He revealed more then. The case wasn't random. He'd been digging into a developer's shady evictions targeting LGBTQ+ holdouts in Bed-Stuy. Evidence vanished, witnesses scared off, until Alex's defense flipped the script. Gratitude deepened to something electric, their knees touching under the coffee table, eyes holding promises neither voiced. Yet doubt not. Alex's roommate, Mia, a fierce lesbian activist, warned him over breakfast. "He's got walls a mile high, babe. And that bruise? Red flag city." Alex brushed it off, but her words stuck, especially when Elias canceled twice, vague about loose ends. On the third dodge, Alex confronted him outside the archive where Elias worked, a dusty warehouse off Flushing Avenue. "If this is pity payback, say it." Elias's face crumpled, rain starting again. Fate's cruel motif. "It's protection. For you. My past. It's a storm you don't want." He confessed in fragments. Orphan young, bounced through foster homes where deviant was code for beatings. A mentor in college, another gay man, who'd pulled him from the brink, only to die in a car accident that smelled of hate crime cover-up. Elias had inherited nothing but suspicion, vowing to unearth truths others buried. "I'm poison, Alex. Touch me, and it sticks." Alex stepped closer, defiant. "Then we're both toxic. Deal with it." Their first real kiss happened there, against the warehouse door, urgent and tasting of fear-swept rain. No fireworks, just quiet unraveling. Hands in hair, breath sinking like a shared heartbeat. It scared Alex more than thrilled him. Vulnerability was a luxury he'd long denied. But Elias pulled back, eyes fierce. "This isn't a game. If we do this, it's all in, no half measures." Alex nodded, heart pounding. All in. What could go wrong? The fallout hit like a subpoena served in the dead of night. 2 days after the kiss, Alex's phone lit up with his mother's number, a ghost from a life he'd buried. "Alexander, we need to talk. Your father's will. It's complicated." Her voice cracked, unfamiliar in its plea. Alex froze in his kitchen, Elias's hoodie still draped over a chair from last night's movie marathon. "Brokeback Mountain, ironic now. Complicated how? You made it clear I'm not family." She hesitated, the line humming with unspoken weight. "Just come home. Dayton, please." He hung up, pulse racing, the apartment suddenly claustrophobic. Elias found him there, staring at the wall, and didn't pry. Just wrapped arms around him from behind, chin on shoulder. Family's a battlefield, Elias murmured. You fight or you flee. Alex leaned back, drawing strength from the solid warmth. I'm fighting. But first, I need answers. The flight to Ohio was a blur of turbulence mirroring his gut. Dayton greeted him with flat skies and strip malls, the air thick with nostalgia he resented. His parents' house loomed on Elm Street, colonial facade hiding fractures deeper than any foundation crack. Margaret Harper opened the door, older than memory, her hug brittle. Your father's gone, Alex. Heart attack, last month. We didn't know how to tell you. Lies, he thought. Plenty of time for a card, a call. But grief softened his edges. He let her lead him inside. The living room smelled of lemon polish and regret, photos of siblings, straight, successful. Lining the mantel, Alex's school portrait conspicuously absent. Richard Harper Sr. lay and stayed upstairs, but the real corpse was their silence. Over lukewarm tea, Margaret slid an envelope across the table. His father's last will, unsealed. He changed it weeks before. Named you executor. And there's a beneficiary you need to see. Alex's hands shook as he scanned the pages, legalese blurring into shock. Amid bequests to charities and cousins, one name leaped out. Elias Crow, entitled to the family cabin in the Adirondacks. The cabin, where Summers had forged his boyhood dreams, now willed to a stranger. Who the hell is this? He demanded, voice rising. Margaret's eyes darted away. An old associate. Your father. Helped him years ago. Debts cleared, no questions. Associate. The words slithered like evasion. Alex pocketed the will, storming out to the backyard swing where he'd hidden crushes on neighborhood boys. The revelation festered. Elias, entangled in his family's web? Coincidence? Or the storm Elias had warned of? He texted, in Dayton, Dad's will has your name. Explain. Now. No reply. Hours ticked by, sunset bleeding orange across the lawn, until his phone buzzed. Not Elias, but a news alert. Brooklyn archivist questioned an elder fraud ring. Link to recent acquittal. Alex's blood ran cold. The article named Elias. Photos from the trial splashed across the screen. Speculation rife. Was the not guilty a fix? Law student Harper implicated? His inbox exploded. Classmates, professors, even the DA's office demanding statements. Mia called, frantic. Babe, it's everywhere. Get ahead of it. But Alex was already dialing Elias, voicemail beeping mockingly. Panic clawed up his throat. He'd defended a man now tainting his name, his future. He confronted his mother at dawn, while clutched like a weapon. Tell me about Crow. Truth, Mom. She wilted into a chair, hands wringing a dish towel. It was the 90s. Your father. He had secrets. Elias was part of them. The confession spilled halting. Richard's hidden life, a double existence. Devoted husband by day, seeking solace in Cleveland's underground gay scene by night. Elias, then a young activist, had crossed paths during an AIDS benefit. A brief affair, passionate but doomed, ending when Margaret discovered letters. No divorce, scandal too great, but a quiet pact. Richard funneled money to Elias anonymously, easing his way through losses. Alex reeled, the swing creaking under him. His father, the pillar of piety who'd preached abomination at the dinner table, had loved a man. Loved Elias. Why the cabin? He pressed, voice hoarse. Margaret's tears fell. Redemption, I think. He wanted to give back what he took, your childhood summers, tainted now by his shame. Shame. The word ignited fury. Alex stormed inside, packing a bag, the will burning in his pocket like indictment. Back in New York, the city felt hostile, tabloids hawking his face next to Elias's mugshot redux. His professor pulled him aside after class. Harper, this stinks of conflict. Step back, or kiss the bar exam goodbye. Alex nodded numbly, retreating to his apartment where Mia waited with wine and worry. He's ghosting you, she said gently, scrolling alerts. And now this. Run. But Alex couldn't. Love, or whatever this was, had hooks deeper than fear. Elias showed up at midnight, pounding the door like Judgment Day. Soaked, wild-eyed, he barreled in. I didn't know about the will. Swear it. Alex shoved the papers at him, accusation blazing. Bullshit. You waltz into my life, my case, and now this. Were you playing me from the start? Elias snatched the will, scanning, color draining. God, no. Richard. He was a ghost to me too. Haven't spoken since '98. This cabin, it's the one place we. He trailed off, pain etching lines deeper. The truth unraveled in gasps. Elias had known Richard as Rick, a married man grappling with his truth in stolen weekends. No malice, just two souls adrift in a world that demanded closets. When it ended, Richard vanished, leaving Elias heartbroken but unbroken. Until now, the will resurrecting ghosts. I defended you because you saw me, Elias whispered, reaching. Not the fraud, not the has-been. You. Alex recoiled, torn between betrayal and the ache of recognition. And my dad. You loved him. Elias nodded, unashamed. Fiercely. Wrongly, maybe. But it shaped me. Silence stretched, thick with what-ifs. Then, softer. I love you now. That's the twist I didn't see coming. Alex's walls cracked. He pulled Elias close, the embrace fierce, forgiving. But outside, shadows moved. A car idling too long, headlights cutting the dark. The threats escalated overnight. Anonymous emails, drop the will, or crow pays. Alex's laptop hacked, files on Elias's archive work leaked. Proof of the developer's corruption, now twisted into extortion. They're coming for us, Elias said over burner phones, paranoia justified. Alex's family fractured further. His brother called, venomous, dad's rolling in his grave. You're ruining us. Prejudice, old as Ohio's soil, resurfacing, fags destroying legacies. In the chaos, their bond forged tighter, late nights poring over the will's fine print, Elias's hand steadying Alex's as they decoded Richard's coded notes, hints of a trust fund hidden from Margaret. Love bloomed in margins, stolen glances over legal pads, Elias's thumb tracing Alex's knuckles during stakeouts at the archive. We're writing our own will, Elias joked once, one where we win. Alex believed it, until the night intruders trashed his apartment, drawers appended, photos of him and Elias slashed. Police dismissed it as random, but Alex knew better. Hiding at Mia's, he confronted the mirror, hollow-eyed, but resolute. We fight back, he told Elias via video, their faces pixelated but fierce. Expose them all, the developer, the cover-ups, dad's secrets. Elias agreed, voice steel. For him. For us. The plan coalesced. Use the will as leverage, tie the cabin's deed to Elias's evidence files, force a settlement that bankrupted the fraud ring. But twists lurked. Mia's contact uncovered a bombshell. Richard hadn't just loved Elias. He'd fathered a child with him, via surrogate in the '90s, hidden away. A half-sibling? Alex's world tilted. You have a son? He whispered when Elias confessed, tear-streaked. Tried to protect him from this mess. He's in witness protection now, testifying against the ring. Betrayal stung anew, not Elias's fault, but the lie of omission. Yet understanding bloomed. Elias's walls weren't rejection, but armor for a family he'd shielded alone. I'm sorry, Elias breathed. I was scared you'd run. Alex cupped the screen, virtual but vital. Together. Always. The Adirondacks cabin became their war room, a pine-scented bunker off Route 28, snow dusting the eaves like fresh evidence. Alex drove up alone first, the will's keys jangling in his pocket, heart heavy with ghosts. The place was frozen in time. Faded quilts, a stone fireplace ringed with family photos. Young Alex grinning gap-toothed, oblivious to the man who'd one day betray him. Richard's presence lingered in the creak of floorboards, the stack of queer lit hidden under floorboards. Giovanni's room, dog-eared. Elias arrived at dusk, rental car crunching gravel, bringing duffels of files and a thermos of soup. Their reunion was wordless, arms wrapping, foreheads pressing, the cabin's chill yielding to shared heat. Home, Elias murmured, though neither had claimed it before. They worked by lantern light, mapping the web, developer shell companies linked to Richard's old firm, bribes disguised as consulting. Elias's son, Jamie, 25, a journalist like his father in spirit, fed intel from hiding, voice calls crackling with urgency. Dad, they're closing in. Get out. Jamie. The name humanized the shock. Alex pictured a blend, Elias's eyes, Richard's jaw, a living bridge across chasms. Tell me about him, Alex asked one night, fire crackling as Elias sketched timelines. Elias's face softened, rare vulnerability. Stubborn, like you. Came out at 15. I taught him to fight smart, not hard. When the threats started, after I archived those evictions, he insisted on going public. Pride-laced pain. Jamie's expose had ignited the fraud probe, but painted a target. Alex absorbed it, jealousy flickering then fading. This wasn't competition, it was expansion, a family forged in fire. He sounds brave. Elias squeezed his hand. He likes you already. Says you're the hot lawyer from Dad's stories. Laughter broke the tension, easing into stories. Jamie's first Pride March. Alex's secret sketches of boys in law texts. Intimacy deepened, not carnal but profound. Nights tangled in quilts, whispers tracing scars, emotional and literal. But the noose tightened. A letter arrived via courier, no postmark. Cabin's yours if Crow disappears. Or Jamie does. Alex's blood iced. He barricaded doors, called Mia for backup. She arrived with her girlfriend, Lena, a trans PI with contacts in Albany. This reeks of insider, Lena said, scanning the note for prints. Your pop's firm? Still rotten. Confirmation came via Jamie's leak. Richard had laundered for the developer decades back. Elias's affair a convenient scapegoat when audits loomed. Rage boiled, at Richard for the hypocrisy, at the system that weaponized love. Alex paced the porch, lake wind whipping. He built this empire on our backs, then willed me the crumbs. Elias joined him, steadying, or the key to burn it down. Their kiss was defiant, sealing resolve. But dawn brought dread. Sirens in the distance, state troopers swarming the drive. Harper? Crow? Warrants for obstruction. The arrest was theater, cuffs cold, ride to Plattsburgh silent. Interrogation room reeked of stale coffee. The lead detective, grizzled and smirking, slid photos across. Alex and Elias embracing, time-stamped. Leverage, he drawled. Developers got pull. Drop the will challenge, or these go viral, ruin your bar shot. Homophobia dripped, casual as rain. Alex's pulse thundered, but law school reflexes kicked in. Miranda rights observed? Or is this coercion? Elias, in the next room, faced worse. Threats to Jamie's safety, promises of accidents. He held, invoking Alex's name like talisman. Separated, they endured hours, minds linked across walls. Bail came courtesy of Lena's strings, but freedom felt fragile. Back at the cabin, now under surveillance, they plotted escape. To Canada? Mia suggested, packing go-bags. Alex shook his head. No running. We hit the press, full disclosure. The press conference was Alex's gambit. NYU courtyard packed with reporters, snow flurrying like confetti. Flanked by Elias, Jamie, flown in under alias, and Mia. He stepped to the mic, voice amplified but heart exposed. My father's will isn't just paper. It's a reckoning. For secrets buried under prejudice, for love criminalized by greed. Gasps rippled as he unveiled docs, Richard's ledgers, Elias's archives, Jamie's byline tying it to the ring. This family? We're queer, we're fighting, and we're done hiding. Headlines erupted. Law students bombshell. Gay affair. Hidden heir topple fraud empire. The developer lawyered up, but cracks showed. Resignations, SEC probes. Backlash hit hard. Hate mail flooding Alex's inbox, slurs spray-painted on the cabin. His brother disowned him publicly, family values, a shield for bigotry. But allies surged, queer orgs rallying, professors defending his ethics. In the eye, Alex and Elias retreated to the lake, ice cracking under boots. Worth it? Elias asked, breath fogging. Alex turned, snow in hair. Every scar. Their love, tested, emerged tempered. Deep talks by firelight. Elias reading Richard's hidden journals aloud. Forgiveness inked in margins. Jamie bonded too, 3 generations mending. Uncle-nephew hikes, stories swapping like heirlooms. Yet climax loomed. The developer's enforcer cornered them on a service road. Truck screeching, guns glinting. Adrenaline surged. Alex dove, shielding Elias. Jamie tackling the thug. Chaos. Shots wild, Lena's backup sirens wailing. In the melee, truths spilled. Enforcer confessing bribes. Richard's role. Arrests cascaded, empire crumbling. Aftermath brought quiet victories. While upheld, cabin theirs, a queer haven, archives installed. Alex passed the bar, thesis lauded. Elias published Shadows of the Closet, Jamie by his side. Love, steady, profound, proposals whispered over coffee, rings simple as promises. But in the final twist, a letter from Margaret. I was wrong. Come home, for real. Healing, tentative, began. Spring thawed the Adirondacks, but winter's chill lingered in Alex's bones as he navigated the will's probate hearing in Syracuse. The courtroom, smaller than Brooklyn's but no less oppressive, buzzed with spectators, reporters, distant cousins glaring daggers, a smattering of pride flags from supporters. Elias sat in the gallery, Jamie beside him, both radiating quiet strength. Alex, suited sharp, felt the weight of legacies colliding. His father's tainted fortune versus the justice he'd sworn to uphold. The judge, a stern woman with a rainbow pin discreet. Progress, Alex noted, called order. Opposing counsel, slick from the developer's firm, opened with venom. Mr. Harper seeks to validate a document forged in scandal, enriching a paramour and bastard child at the expense of rightful heirs. Gasps. Alex's jaw clenched, but he rose calm. Your Honor, this will reflect my father's final atonement. Not scandal, but truth. Love doesn't negate law. Evidence unfolded like a trial within a trial. Richard's journals, authenticated by experts, detailing his double life with raw honesty. I failed my son, one entry read, by fearing my heart. To Elias, I give the cabin, our sanctuary, now his. Gasps turned to murmurs. The lawyer faltered, cross-examining Elias with barely veiled disgust. You manipulated a married man, Mr. Crow. Isn't this inheritance extortion? Elias met his gaze, unflinching. Love isn't manipulation. Hiding it is. Alex's redirect was masterful, weaving Elias's archives into narrative. How Richard's assistants funded queer scholarships, not bribes. Redemption laundered clean. Jamie testified last, voice steady at 25, mirroring Alex's own youth. I'm not a bastard. I'm proof love endures. The courtroom hushed. Even the judge's eyes softened. Verdict, will intact. Distributions approved. Cheers erupted, flags waving. Alex hugged Elias fiercely, Jamie joining. A triad unbreakable. Outside, media frenzy awaited, but victory soured fast. A cousin cornered Alex. You're poisoning the family name. Dad would disown you twice. Bigotry, generational, stung deeper than loss. Alex's response, measured, televised, went viral. Family isn't blood. It's who stands when storms hit. Views soared, shares from allies, but trolls swarmed. Death threats, doxing attempts. Security tightened. Lena installed cameras at the cabin. Home became fortress and forge. Elias dove into renovations, walls echoing with hammers and laughter. Jamie painting murals of Stonewall, Alex shelving law tomes beside queer manifestos. Evenings, they cooked, Elias's gumbo, a New Orleans holdover from Foster days. Alex's experimental salads, law-precise portions. Intimacy wove subtle. Elias's fingers combing Alex's hair post-shower. Jamie's teasing, get a room, masking envy for their ease. But prejudice pierced idle. A neighbor petitioned to reclaim the cabin, citing moral decay in local rags. Hearing loomed, town hall packed with pitchfork stares. Alex prepped like battle, Elias coaching. They fear what they don't know. Show them us. Testimony turned tide. Locals recounting Elias's volunteer history, tutoring kids, archiving town lore, humanizing the other. Petition denied. A few apologies followed, bridges tentative. Deeper conflict brewed within. Alex's bar exam loomed, study marathons clashing with Elias's grant deadlines. Irritation flared. Missed dinners, snapped words. You're pulling away, Elias accused one night, dishes clattering. Alex, exhausted, lashed. I'm building our future, while you chase ghosts. Silence wounded. They slept apart, cabin vast. Morning brought regret. Alex found Elias on the porch, coffee cooling. I'm scared, Alex admitted. Of failing you. Like he did. Elias pulled him close. We're not him. We're us. Reconciliation deepened resolve. They balanced, Alex quizzing torts while Elias edited chapters. Jamie mediated, his outsider eye sharp. Love's a verb, dudes. Act it. Wisdom from one so young humbled. Twist struck midsummer. Jamie's ex surfaced, a journalist with grudges, leaking distorted stories. Elias as homewrecker, Alex as opportunist. Backlash. Sponsors pulled from Elias's book. Alex's clerkship offers retracted. Despair loomed. Jamie confessed his role, trusting the ex too soon. I ruined everything. Elias hugged him fierce. You trusted. That's strength. Counterstrike. Collaborative op-ed in the Times. Trio bylines exposing media bias in queer narratives. Impact rippled. Donations poured. Invitations followed. Healing, but scars itched. Autumn brought Margaret's visit, unannounced. Rental car tentative on gravel. Alex met her at the door, guard up. I read the articles, she said, voice small. Saw you really saw. Tour of the cabin. Murals awing. Elias's welcome wary but warm. Dinner fractured, then mended. Stories of Richard's youth. Hints of his own hidden affections. He loved you, Margaret whispered to Alex. Feared losing you more. Tears flowed. Forgiveness, partial, planted. Climax crested at a gala in Albany. LGBTQ plus rights fundraiser. Cabin as exhibit backdrop. Alex keynote, Elias beside. Midway, stage lights glared on a face from nightmares. The developer, free on technicality, smirking from VIP. Enjoy it while it lasts, he hissed passing. Dread coiled. That night, cabin alarms shrieked. Arson attempt. Flames licking siding before Lena's team doused. Investigation pinned the developer. Trial swift. Conviction ironclad. Justice bittersweet. Richard's ledgers sealed his fate too. Posthumous reckoning. Winter returned, softer. Proposals happened lakeside, snow falling. Elias on knee, ring from the Wills safe. Richards, resized. All in. Alex, tears freezing, nodded. Wedding small, Jamie best man, Margaret matron, Mia officiant. Vows echoed. Through storms, secrets, love. Epilogue whispered. Family expanded, prejudices thawed, legacies reclaimed. The wedding's afterglow faded into the grind of new realities, the cabin now a nexus for their blended lives. Alex clerked for a federal judge in Manhattan, commutes brutal but invigorating, cases on marriage equality echoing his own vows. Elias toured for his book, Closeted Legacies, Jamie opening each city with readings from his investigative series. Separation bred ache, calls ended in misuse, but reunions ignited. Elias surprising Alex at Chambers, lunch turning to stolen hours in Central Park. Yet harmony hid fissures. Margaret's thawing accelerated, weekly calls evolving to visits, baking pies with crusts like peace offerings. But old habits died hard. Over Thanksgiving, her slip, you two are so domestic, landed like shrapnel. Elias excused himself, Jamie diffusing with football highlights. Alex confronted later. Progress isn't perfection, Mom. She nodded, chastened, but the sting lingered, reminding Elias's walls. External storms raged too. A conservative think tank sued over the cabin's public use as queer archive, claiming tax evasion. Media dubbed it fairy tale fiasco, pundits decrying gay agenda in Heartland. Alex defended pro bono, courtroom battles evoking his first trial. Elias in the audience, ring glinting solidarity. Victory came narrow, judge ruling archives protected speech, celebrations drowned doubts in champagne. Personal twist twisted knife. Alex's fertility dreams surfaced, post-vows whispers of surrogacy. Elias hesitated, ghosts of Jamie's hidden years haunting. What if we repeat history, hiding a child from hate? Alex soothed, but seed of doubt sprouted. Counseling helped. Queer therapist unpacking internalized fears, but tension simmered. Date nights strained by what-ifs. Jamie's arc intersected. His ex's betrayal unearthed deeper. Stolen docs from Elias's archives, sold to the tank. Confrontation in a Brooklyn cafe. Jamie facing the man. You used me to hurt my family. Ex sneered. Unrepentant, Jamie walked, but trauma lingered. Therapy sessions overlapping theirs. Bonds strengthened. Trio therapy, laughter amid tears, Elias fathering anew through listening. Climax brewed in D.C. National hearing on inheritance rights for LGBTQ plus families, Alex testifying, Elias and Jamie attending. Protests outside, counter-demonstrators chanting slurs, escalated to violence, bottle shattering near Jamie. Chaos, scuffles, arrests. Inside, Alex's words cut through. Wills aren't just property. They're permissions to love openly. Bill passed, landmark. Back home, reconciliation peaked. Margaret, witnessing the fray via news, drove up unbidden. I get it now, she said, hugging Jamie first. Family fights together. Inclusion full, prejudices peeled layer by layer. Love's evolution shown in quiet. Alex adopting Elias's ring twist habit, Elias sketching Alex asleep. Future beckoned, clinic co-founded, archives expanded. But final surprise, Richard's safe yielded letters. To Alex, unsent. Son, if you read this, know I loved wrongly, but loved. Be brave. Catharsis flooded, forgiveness complete. Years blurred into legacy building. The cabin evolving from refuge to beacon, a retreat for queer youth, funded by book royalties and grants. Alex thrived in private practice, specializing in estate planning for marginalized families, his name synonymous with the Will Warrior. Elias curated exhibits nationwide, Jamie his protege, their bylines co-authoring exposés that toppled barriers. Margaret integrated, volunteering at Pride events, her transformation a quiet miracle, bridge from past to present. Domesticity deepened, mornings with coffee rituals, Elias's archivist precision measuring grounds, Alex's legal mind debating brew times. Anniversaries marked with lake swims, even in chill, vows renewed under stars. But evolution brought challenges. Alex's rising profile drawing stalkers, echoes of the developer's hate. Security protocols tightened, date nights vetted, paranoia a shadow. Internal conflict crested when Alex's partner firm balked at his activist cases, ultimatum looming, tone down or out. Elias urged fight. You're not just a lawyer, you're a voice. Alex wavered, burnout gnawing, a solo hike cleared fog. Cabin trails whispering Richard's journals, courage inherited. Resignation letter penned, new firm queer-led, clientele grateful. Jamie's milestone, engagement to a trans artist, wedding at the cabin, stirred paternal pride in Elias, uncle's joy in Alex. Ceremony under oaks, Margaret toasting. To loves that rewrite rules. But pre-wedding jitters unearthed Jamie's fear. What if they reject us like Dad rejected you? Elias shared raw. He didn't reject, society did. We rewrite that. Twist, anonymous donor to the retreat. Turns out, Richard's old lover, another ghost, funding and atonement. Letter enclosed. Your father's light lived on. Emotion swelled. Gala unveiling donor's story, tears and toasts. Climax. National backlash to a Supreme Court challenge Alex led, rolling back protections. Protests massive, D.C. streets alive with rainbow seas. Alex spoke from steps, Elias and family flanking. They can challenge laws, but not our lives. Ruling favored, but cost high. Threats intensified, a pipe bomb scare at the cabin. Resolution. Community rallied, fortifying, neighbors patrolling, orgs lawyering. Love's anchor. Post-scare huddle, Elias whispering. We're unbreakable. Legacy solidified. Clinic booming. Archives digitized. Family tree branching. Adoptions considered. Futures dreamed. In quiet coda, Alex and Elias on porch, sunset gilding lake. Defended a stranger, Alex mused. Found my soul. Elias smiled. And the will? Best plot twist.